There's no escape.
My name is Barry Allen, and I am the fastest.
Another name you might know me by.
Star.
My name is Oliver Queen.
You'll be hearing from us.
From the Strategic Homeland.
Just call us Shield.
Beware my power, Green Lantern's light.
And here we go.
Excelsior!
All right, welcome back. Here we are, episode number 56 of the Geek Show. I am BJ, and with me, as always, is Big Rich.
Yo!
And we got a lot of things to talk about on our docket. It's been a little bit since we've been able to get together, just because we're at the holidays at this point, and it's just been a little bit more difficult for us to gather around and get together and do a show. So we got a lot to discuss.
Lots and lots.
What are we? We are about 17 days away from Star Wars.
Are we 17?
Because it's December 15th. We're at the 29th of November, so 16 or 17 days.
I don't know. I have to look in the Star Wars app because
I think it's 16 if you're counting today. Maybe like 16 and a half days or something like that.
I'm firing up the Star Wars app right now, if you can see right there.
Oh,
so,
there it is.
There it is. Yeah, 15 days, 8 hours, 10 minutes, 50 seconds.
15 days. Yeah, we're almost there.
I've got my tickets. Did you get your tickets?
Yes, we're going. I'm going on the 16th, though.
Okay.
I'm going Saturday morning.
Of course, I am already set up to go on Thursday night.
Yep.
And I will probably be also going that Friday morning. I somehow, through a fluke, got both days off.
Wow.
Don't know how I did that from work. But
so you're going to spend them like a responsible adult seeing Star Wars twice.
Yes, I'm going to go Thursday night with all my friends. I got an event set up for all my work friends. I invited you, but I know you couldn't go.
I could not.
I set up an invite, and then I'm going to go to that. And then the next morning, after I've had a nice night's sleep and thought about it a little bit, I'm going to go back. I'm going to watch it again. Haven't decided if I'm going to go see it in the the 3D IMAX whatever, or if I'm just going to go to the regular showing like I'm going to on Thursday.
Yeah.
Have to wait and see, but yeah, I'm definitely going a second time.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah. It's important.
It is important.
Very important.
Very, very, very important. And we've got to support Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
In this,
they definitely need more money.
Yes, Pablo Hidalgo needs more money for coffee.
Yes. But back, we've got a lot to talk about. We had the Crisis on Earth X crossover just happened this week. This morning, the Infinity War trailer dropped.
Oh man,
that was like a nice present.
That was like a big bomb. It was like boom.
You know what was fun about that is the fact that usually it's after we record these shows that I get home.
Yeah.
And I turn on the computer, and all of a sudden I see that a trailer's dropped, and I'm like, damn it, Rich, we should have waited.
Yeah.
But this is good. We got to watch it this morning, which is a lot of fun.
Yes. I was giddy like a little schoolgirl. Like,
yeah. 2 movies have come out since we last met too: Thor Ragnarok and Justice League. So we'll give you some thoughts on those as well.
Yes. And so, we might as well just jump in on Infinity War.
Yeah.
Just because
it's fresh.
It's brand new and yummy.
Just right out of the oven, man. It's funny because it's almost like they were like, you know what? There's a lot of people that record these kinds of shows.
Yeah.
On Wednesdays.
Yes.
So how about we drop the trailer in the morning, and they dropped it on Good Morning America. Thank God it wasn't the Today Show.
Oh, jeez.
Sorry, Matt Lauer.
Let's not get into that.
That's breaking news.
Yeah.
So the Infinity War trailer drops, and it's almost like a tribute to the last 10 years of Marvel films.
Yes.
Because in 2008 is when it all started with Iron Man, and they laid the foundation for what was going to be 2012's Avengers, and ever since then, it's been laying the foundation for what is going to be 2018's Infinity War.
Yeah, and no movie studio. I mean, all the studios that had the rights to Marvel movies have never done anything like this. The Marvel universe. So this was a big gamble on Marvel's part. Huge gamble. They didn't know how this was. And Iron Man technically was considered a B character, by Marvel. I found out. So this is something. This is very, very big. by them doing that back then, and then it just and I remember I had Fridays off back at my job. I had a regular schedule. I took those Fridays and dropped my oldest off at school. This is before I was married and everything, so I had lots of free time.
Yeah.
Quick hint, guys.
Yeah.
And then I drove to the Rotterdam Square Mall, went to the movie theater. It was a small movie theater, but it was the closest one to I didn't want to drive all the way down to the bigger malls in Albany. So Rotterdam is right outside Schenectady. So that's where I went. That's where I went to go see Iron Man. That's where I went to go see Hulk.
Yeah.
Just about all the Marvel movies that's where I went to go see when they first came out. And man, I remember being blown away by Iron Man, just that opening scene and the music and everything. And I always thought that Robert Downey Jr., his quirky, sarcastic attitude just fit Tony Stark. Billionaire playboy, no cares in the world, just total ass.
Yep.
And then, that wake-up call, and just it was a match made in heaven, and RDJ is just he is the king of Marvel.
Well, and now they're saying that not this Infinity War, but the next Marvel and Avengers movie is actually going to bookend this version of the MCU.
Oh, wow.
So it's literally going to be, you had your beginning, you had your middle, and now you're going to have your end. Because realistically, we've talked about it before, how long can it go on?
Exactly.
Contracts are running out. You've
Right.
done so many storylines and everything. It's time, maybe they're going to bring some other characters into the MCU and they'll start doing new stories, maybe bringing old characters back every once in a while. But this is going to bookend that. It's like almost like the big event comic book that ends a run, and then you can start a new run.
This
again.
is that big, thick annual.
Yeah.
That basically took all these different storylines, or you could think of it as a trade paperback, or the trade, or big ass graphic novel. Boom! This brings it all in, and this is what everything for the past 10 years has culminated to. Where it goes from there after that, who knows?
Right.
We'll have to wait and see, but. Getting back into the trailer, some of the things I saw, I mean, if you haven't seen it yet, what are you waiting for? It's public. It's out there. You can see it. It's free. It's on YouTube, where we're streaming, by the way, live. If you listen to the podcast, the audio podcast, we do stream live on YouTube. We also have our Twitter, Geek Show Radio, all that kind of stuff. So, all right, pimping done. Just some of the scenes that I saw in that were just. It started to get me thinking. I mean, we see the Hulkbuster armor again. We see Captain America with a nice long beard without his shield.
Yeah, I think they're making him not quite look like Nomad, but go in that direction.
Yeah.
When he dropped his shield. So.
Yep. And then we're also, and we're seeing, I can't remember. He plays the King from Wakanda, their Black Panther.
Yep.
Saying, get this man a shield.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome, and he just walks in from the shadows.
That's awesome. So I mean, and we're also seeing a big battle scene. It appears to be Wakanda, so some of it is going to take place in Wakanda.
Yep.
Maybe the beginning. I don't know.
I mean, maybe there is an Infinity Stone hidden somewhere in Wakanda.
Yeah, possible.
Because there's still a couple Infinity Stones that they haven't identified.
Right.
So we'll have to find out what's going on with that.
Yep, and we see Loki with the Tesseract,
which is an
Infinity Stone. We know the Vision has an Infinity Stone. That's the one that's in his head. And we see somebody prying it out of him with Loki's scepter.
Yeah, that's got to be one of the members of the Black Order, which is going to be like Thanos' big wrecking crew. That comes in. Not to confuse them with the actual wrecking crew.
Something different.
Yeah.
But that, and I'm trying to rack my brain because it's just so much. I only seen it once.
Well, it was like you saw like clearly Hulk / Bruce Banner falls out of the sky, and Doctor Strange and Wong show up to investigate.
Yep.
And then at some point in time, Tony Stark is at is with Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
In New York.
Yeah.
At Bleecker Street. And in the Sanctum Sanctorum.
Yep.
and Mark Ruffalo was there as Bruce Banner. So
Right.
somehow he gets back. The big end credit scene in Thor Ragnarok leads you to believe that I think that that's where Infinity War will either open or shortly after the open get to it.
Yeah.
Because the end credit scene of it of Thor Ragnarok, to just kind of flash forward in the conversation a little bit, you see Thor standing there and they're all ready to go to Earth. He's got all the people from Asgard with him on this big ship. Loki is there with him, and Mark Ruffalo is there with him too. And they're headed back to Earth, and then all of a sudden there's just a gigantic spaceship floating right by them, and you have to assume that that is Thanos' ship.
Right.
So something is going to happen where he is going to do something to the Asgardians, where Thor somehow gets displaced, somehow Hulk goes flying back to Earth, or something like that. You saw Tom Holland as Spider-Man, and all of a sudden there was that big ring in the sky of New York, and he jumps into action in that awesome
new
Iron Spider
suit. Yeah.
That looks great. You saw Thanos. Thanos comes out and comes through this gate, and he's kicking Spider-Man's butt.
Yeah.
So you have to worry. You have to say, "Oh my gosh, what is going to be going on? What is going to happen here?"
Yep.
It looks like there's going to be a lot of chaos really early on. I think that Wakanda scene is either going to be towards the end of the film or right in the middle of the film, because that's when you're going to start getting all of these guys back together.
I think that's the big climax of the second act.
Yeah, because I think that it's going to have to be like that. One of my favorite moments was the very end of the trailer after it fades and Thor kind of stands up and he goes, "Who the hell are you guys?"
Yeah.
And he turns around and it's the Guardians.
Guardians of the Galaxy, baby.
Yeah.
You see everybody. I was going to make...
The only people that you did not see in the trailer is you didn't see Ant-Man, you didn't see the Wasp.
Right.
You didn't see Hawkeye.
Yeah.
And who else didn't you see? You didn't see Nick Fury. You heard his voice.
You heard him.
But you did not see Nick Fury.
Right.
So yeah, we also didn't see Nebula, but we know all of these people have been on set. There's been photos that have been released, and of course the big Vanity Fair shoot where they did everything that had to do with Marvel. So all of these people at some point in time, I think, are going to be in this movie.
Yes.
This was the teaser trailer.
Yeah.
It did a very good job.
Yeah. And it did, and I am so hyped for this. And going back to what you were, as we were going through some of what we were seeing, like at the end of the trailer with Thor. If anybody remembers from Guardians of the Galaxy 2, the end credit scene is Thor slamming into, like a bug on a windshield, into the Guardians' new ship, which I don't know if they've given it a name. I can't remember if they gave it a name.
I didn't see that at the end. Was that at the end? That was at the leak, the footage that they showed at D23.
Was it a D23 footage?
Yeah. That's
okay.
what
I thought it was an end credit.
We had assumed that it was going to either be an end credit scene in Guardians or Thor, and it wasn't in either. So it leads me to believe that it was just a reel that they showed some very lucky people.
Okay. Well, guess what? We saw it too, because somebody put it on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. But I mean, so if you didn't see that, you might be able to find it out there if they haven't already yanked it down. Somebody probably maybe put it up after the heat died down.
Once it's out there, it's out there.
It's pretty much. The internet is forever.
Yep.
But I mean, that was kind of cool seeing that. So I'm thinking, obviously, that's events taking place probably towards the beginning of the movie. I wouldn't be surprised if that's like the beginning of the movie.
It could be.
Just to kind of establish what happened in Thor and just kind of getting the ball rolling with everything else.
Right.
So we got to wait till May now.
Something has to happen too, I think, because Black Panther comes out before this movie.
Yeah.
So I think something has to happen in Black Panther.
We're going to maybe see an end credit scene, you think, in Black Panther that sheds some more light?
It's possible. I don't know. So we'll have to wait and see. That comes out in February, so we will see what happens with Black Panther. But yeah, something I think has to happen in Black Panther to continue on and develop the Infinity War story. But we also know that, Doctor Strange is carrying an Infinity Stone. The Eye of Agamotto is an Infinity Stone.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
But I don't know why they chose to make all of these classic Marvel things into Infinity Stones. Like Vision has an Infinity Stone in his head.
Yeah.
So if he takes the Infinity Stone, does Vision cease to exist?
That's another good question. And when you look at the trailer, Vision, Paul Bettany's character, he's got flesh tone. So he has changed his appearance, I guess, to make himself, integrate more into the everyday world. It seems.
As a human with the gem in his forehead, though, he kind of looks like one of those treasure trolls.
Wow, there's a flashback
There
for
you go.
And of course, and it looks like that. He's still, him and Wanda are still a thing.
Mhm.
So no love lost when she made him super heavy and basically dropped him.
Yeah.
Back during Civil War.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to see that relationship is patched up.
Yeah.
But yeah, this, I think Marvel has brought the hype like they usually do.
Yeah, but not too much.
Not too much, because Ultron, they seem to overhype it, and I think when you and I were
Yeah.
talking about it way back in like episode 20 or 20, whatever, that it was too much hype. The movie was good,
Yeah.
but from all that hype they gave us, we were kind of expecting a much more elevated
Yeah.
show or storyline that we didn't get.
Yeah,
in
this to me, Age of Ultron, is a lot of what I felt was happened in Justice League, which we'll talk about in a little bit too.
Yeah.
But it was just like too much all at once, trying to establish too many things and bring too many characters around, and I just felt like it just didn't. That movie didn't work for me. Justice League was entertaining, but didn't quite work for
Yeah.
me either. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. So Infinity War, I mean, May 4th, I believe, is when
Yep.
that movie comes
I
out.
believe so. Yep.
So May 4th, 2018, we'll finally get that, and that will be a fantastic movie to see.
I'm guessing tickets will probably go on sale in February.
Yeah.
So you can get your early tickets if you really want. Well, I don't know. Maybe. Well, I'm thinking. All right, maybe more like March, because February seems a little too far out. So probably late March, early April
Yeah.
is when we'll see tickets go on sale.
Probably.
And make sure you use your your smartphone to get it all.
Mhm.
No. So, but and I know. Yeah, we were already talking about that, so never mind. I was gonna say the tickets. Jeez. I'm getting old. All right. So the DC. Let's move on over to the other side of the street with the DC crossover, Crisis on Earth X.
Yeah, man, that was so good.
That was really good.
Because I felt like last year's crossover that they did with the Dominators
Yeah.
and stuff, I thought it was okay. I thought it was like a little
Yeah.
weak,
Yeah, I mean, I read all the comics for that back when they first came out, and it was pretty cool.
Mhm.
But I mean, this one just really amped it up a
Yeah.
notch. I really felt on the edge of my seat for a lot of the story.
They flew by. It was basically, we watched a 4-hour movie essentially, and
Yeah.
it flew by.
Yeah, and it was really really good. I mean, I was like, oh come on, I'm just
Yeah.
I-
Can we talk about the big moment too? The
Yeah.
big moment that happened in the final episode, which would be Legends, which is
Yeah.
the death of Professor Stein.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Wow. How are they going to do that with Firestorm now? Is Firestorm basically?
I think Firestorm is
Gone?
done. Because that serum that
Yeah.
that Ray made,
Yeah.
in the Legends episode before this,
Yeah.
is supposed to it would negate their powers.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that Firestorm is done, but I feel like it's not quite done. I think Jax stays on board the Wave Rider and will eventually somehow develop some sort of abilities again.
Yeah.
Or even if he doesn't, I just like him, so I think that he'll stay on.
I
need him to fix the damn ship all the time.
Yeah,
so.
they got to have an engineer. So
Yeah.
I mean, my thinking is too that, well, in the comics, didn't Firestorm actually just become a single person at some point?
I think so.
And so I'm thinking that's where they're going to. I mean, because it, it started with Professor Stein and Robbie.
Yep.
And then it went to Professor Stein and Jax, which is just like following in the comic books.
Mhm.
Now, I'm almost certain that Firestorm became a single person. So maybe they figure out a way, because for all intents and purposes, Jax still has the Firestorm matrix within him.
Yeah.
So
Just laying there
just
dormant, I guess, right?
So maybe Ray or Cisco or somebody figures out how to make it active again so that Jax can control it by himself.
Yep.
Maybe not as powerful as before, but still become the nuclear man, Firestorm, and kind of go from there.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping, because I mean, I liked Firestorm. I thought he was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean,
As a character,
he had taken kind of a backseat to some of the other characters on Legends, which I was okay with. They were,
yeah.
I almost like them better apart than when they were together.
Yeah.
Mostly because you didn't see a lot of them together as Firestorm, and I think that's solely based on a graphics budget.
Right.
The effects are pretty good for Firestorm.
Yeah, I mean, and my thing is, I always thought Firestorm was much more powerful than what they're portraying him in Legends.
Yep.
So, I mean, but I can get that. I mean, they can't really do. They don't. They're working on a TV budget, not a major motion picture budget. So so it's not like they can have ILM at their beck and call.
Right.
For that kind of stuff. So, but I would really love to have seen more of Firestorm. I think he was kind of an underutilized character. But I mean, also if they did show him like in the comic books, he's like super powerful. I mean, close to almost the level of Superman. Not there, but I mean, he's up there.
There were some really cool moments in this too. I liked that they brought back, even though he was from Earth X, I liked that they brought back Tommy Merlin.
Yeah,
I thought that was really cool,
Yeah.
and that people from Earth X are bad people. They are bad people. And he was the Prometheus on Earth X.
Yeah.
So it kind of shows what would happen if Tommy Merlin had gone the other way. A little bit like old Dad, maybe.
Yeah.
The big bads, of course, were the doppelgangers of Kara and Oliver.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool to see them playing villains, a total opposite of who they usually play. That was nice.
I want to say I found Melissa Benoist even more. I mean, because I've had a crush on her.
I don't know if I can say.
I'm like, wow, I'm just really getting into.
I don't know. She's a Nazi.
I know, but just the
Just
bad
doesn't
girl.
feel right.
It's not the Nazi part. It's the being.
Oh well,
bad
that's good.
girl.
I'm glad it's not the
God
Nazi
no.
part.
Nazis die. Nazis
Well,
die.
One of the things that these CW shows I think have done really well is that they play into the current political landscape of our country.
I was gonna say that I saw that message thread right there.
Yeah.
Just commenting on current modern day, events, and I think it pretty much hit home.
Oh, it
with
totally
that.
did.
Totally.
Because Nazis are bad.
Yes.
Nazis should never be seen as people who are good.
Right.
And that is the bottom line. And I thought that they hit that point really well. And I think it hits home to a lot of what's going on here with all these people that are coming out and being like, well, I'm voicing my freedom of speech as an American, saying that I am a neo-Nazi and a white supremacist and all this other stuff.
Explicit alert. Bullshit.
Yeah.
That's total BS.
Yeah.
Because they're all right. I'm gonna go on a conservative. Well, I'm more of a moderate, in my opinion, but I lean a little conservative. But here's my thing.
Okay.
Yeah, people, there is a freedom of speech. Everyone should have it. But when it comes to the kind of speech and what the Nazis and white supremacists and what they stand for and what they see, and the affiliation with the Nazi Party back in World War II and the Holocaust and everything they've done, that the line has to be drawn somewhere, and that line is at the point where those people get to talk about their beliefs in regards to a homogenous society. They are, I mean, because everything that the Nazis did, 6 million Jews, 6 million. There is no way you can spin that.
How could
as
you?
Good. Nothing is going to ever erase that stain on white supremacists and Nazis and their belief. It is done. You guys, no way. So, get on my ass all you want about free speech and they have a right to it. No, they don't. With what they're talking about, they got jack.
Yeah.
Nothing. That goes against the American ideal and values. So you gotta draw a line, and the line is this far, buddy.
Yeah.
This is why, and I could even go farther, but I'm not gonna, because this is not the platform for it. I am just voicing this part of my opinion. No. N-O, period, done.
Yeah.
And looping back into getting out of all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Crisis on Earth X pretty much, said a lot. I mean, in their way, they said it as well. No, you can't do it. There's nothing there that is ever gonna make me think that, Nazis can be, no.
Well, you saw at the point, they're just, the people from Earth X are just inherently evil.
Yes.
Well, at least anybody that's on the side of the big government there, which is, run by Nazis, because they run the war in this situation. So, you saw it when Oliver is talking to evil Oliver.
Oh God, yeah.
And evil Oliver has his bow pointed at Supergirl, and he's going to kill her. And Oliver says, "Don't. We can help save." Because the whole premises of it is that the evil Supergirl needs our Supergirl in order to save her life, because she has too much solar radiation poisoning.
Yeah.
Which is, I believe, not that he ever went supernova, but I believe that's a topic in Superman. I think All-Star Superman, that comic by Grant Morrison.
Yeah.
It might be one of the best Superman comics out there. Just the about Superman dying because he's been exposed to too much solar radiation.
Yeah, flying too close to the sun, kind of like Icarus, which they made a reference to.
Right, so it's just like his kind of like his last days and everything like that, which is great. A great read. So this is kind of similar to that, where she is, she's got solar radiation poisoning, and it's killing her. That she needs a new heart. The only heart that they can take is Supergirl's, and they're trying to do that, and they don't want it to happen. Now Oliver says, "We have scientists and smart people. We can figure out another way to do this. No one has to die." And the evil Supergirl says, "Don't listen to him. Kill her." She doesn't care at that point about saving herself. She just cares about killing people.
Yeah.
So I mean, that is the message through and through. One of the other things that I like that they brought back was Leonard Snart, now known as Leo Snart, because he's from Earth X.
Yeah.
Basically the same guy, but a good guy. Kind of, I guess I'd say he's Citizen Cold, something like that. So,
I guess.
I mean, Citizen Cold was the good guy version of Captain Cold from another Earth in the DC universe. They also brought in the Ray, which is a comic character that's only been around since the 90s, kind of a small character, but I thought he was really good. I like the effects that they used for him. I thought his powers were fantastic. A little bit confused why he decided to go back to Earth X, and Leonard Snart of Earth X decided to stay on Earth 1. So I don't get that. Why, you know what I mean? Like, why didn't they both either just decide to stay for a little bit? But I guess, they still got to go back and fight their battles and everything.
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen the last of Earth X, to be honest.
Probably not.
One of the more disappointing things that we haven't seen, we didn't see it in the last crossover, and we didn't see it in this crossover episode, is the involvement of Martian Manhunter.
Yep.
I don't know why.
Yep.
God, get him involved.
And Superman.
Yeah.
There was reference to Superman. Kara made reference, about her cousin coming after them. And Thawne basically said, I've dealt with him in the future, and many times in the future, and he's not as fast as me.
Right.
But still, I mean, if they really want to take this up a notch, I mean, and this is going to play into, because we're going to talk about Justice League in a little bit, but if they want to basically make DC entertainment the way Marvel has done their entertainment, it seems to be a very diametric thing with DC and all that, with the movies and the television shows, as compared to Marvel and all that. But DC, I mean, honestly, they should bring in Superman. They should bring in Martian Manhunter. Cast somebody to be Bruce Wayne. You put Justice League on the television the way they're doing, the way Greg Berlanti is doing it right now. I guarantee you will blow. CW will be a major player in network television. I guarantee it. It will. I mean, it'll just elevate them when they bring. I mean, all the DC fans, they will come a running
Yeah.
And not just for Flash, not just for Supergirl and all that, because I always thought, the way they were going to take Supergirl was kind of like she was going to be a minor character, because that's what she was technically in the comics.
Yeah.
Even though she was from Krypton and everything, had the same powers as Superman, but she, she was still kind of learning the ropes and all that. Now she's basically, it's like Superwoman, kind of like what Lois Lane was for a little while.
Right.
So, but honestly, if you make Justice League on the television the way they've been doing it, I can deal with not having the big budget and everything like that. I get it. It looks good on television.
Right.
But seriously, man, you'll blow the DC movies away.
I mean,
still make money.
They've essentially kind of done it with the crossovers without saying it.
Yeah.
So it should be this should be interesting to see that.
I just think, I really do think they should cast somebody as Bruce Wayne. They got to bring in Superman again, and then figure out Wonder Woman. Just do it. Just make Diggle Green Lantern or somebody. Get Hal Jordan in there. Get Guy Gardner. Whatever.
Well, we already saw it on Legends when they dropped Helen of Troy off at Themyscira.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of cool that they kind of brought it into, yes, this world exists in our world.
Yes.
Is it Themyscira from the movies? We don't know, but yes, Themyscira exists. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, I just do it. Berlanti, just go and talk to him, pitch it. I know you've got an idea. I guarantee you Berlanti has probably thought about this a bunch of times. He's got a ton of notes.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's waiting for to pitch. Maybe he's not quite ready, but I think he should just pitch it. Seriously.
It'll be cool.
And it'll be beyond cool in my opinion.
Yeah.
Beyond cool.
I like it.
So, but that's my thing.
Yeah.
With that. All right, but let's move on over to the next house. Let's go to Justice League.
All right, yeah. So Justice League that came out last week.
Yeah.
I went not last week, the week before. I saw it late. I went on Tuesday. I went on my birthday.
Yeah. And
saw it, which was there was no one in the theater. There was like me, my wife, and like maybe 4 other people.
Yeah, weekdays don't seem to be too big.
Yeah.
It's usually the weekends where they really make their money.
That was I wanted to wait, and I wanted to see. I didn't want to wait and sit in a crowd and elbow to elbow with the chairs and everything. I don't think that Justice League is as big a success as they wanted it to be.
No.
I found the movie to be very entertaining.
Yeah.
It was a great action movie, good popcorn flick, but much like I'd say comparable to like the Expendables and things like that. Very, very weak story.
Yeah.
The characters themselves I thought were great, except for I didn't love Affleck as Batman as much as I did in BVS, because I really liked this older, broodier, dark,
it was
gritty
more like
Batman.
It was more like Miller Dark Knight that he's doing, because I mean the costume even is very much Frank Miller Dark Knight, but I know and everybody's still comparing it, to Nolan. Nolan's Batman. Honestly, that's the Batman I think that they should have had in there.
Yeah.
They should have had a little bit younger, not the Dark Knight kind of thing. They should have had a younger Batman, really fresh and energetic and all that kind of thing. I think they just kind of missed the mark.
They did a little bit. I really enjoyed Jason Momoa as Aquaman. I thought he was great.
He was awesome. I mean, I think he was really the big highlight of the movie to me.
It's kind of like how Wonder Woman was the big highlight of BVS to me. Aquaman was the big highlight of Justice League.
Yeah.
He was absolutely fantastic. I'm really excited now to see the solo Aquaman movie coming out next year. Ezra Miller is Barry Allen. I liked him too. I just you just got to separate from Barry Allen of the TV show with this new Barry Allen that is still trying to figure out his powers and stuff.
He kind of played it like, and I saw this somewhere, somebody referenced it as he's kind of playing Barry Allen as Sheldon Cooper.
A little bit, kind of. So it will be nice to see him mature a little bit more, and I think maybe we'll see that in the Flash movie, which I'm pretty sure they've alluded to the fact that Flash will be Flashpoint. So perhaps if Flashpoint is a movie, then everything they'll use that as a jumping off point for more and newer DC movies. So we'll have to see that. Steppenwolf as a villain to me, I thought Steppenwolf was kind of as weak a villain as Ronan the Accuser was in the first Guardians to me. Like, Ronan the Accuser was the big bad of Guardians, and I never felt like he was very... I don't know. I obviously love Guardians.
Yeah.
But Ronan the Accuser was kind of a wasted character and was thrown away. I feel the same way about Steppenwolf. Now, we don't know. He may not be gone.
Right.
And everything. The parademons were cool.
Yeah.
There was a lot of questions that I had, though, at the end of the movie. Like, if the parademons are just going around one by one looking for people, like, how is Steppenwolf able to find these hidden mother boxes in Atlantis and in Themyscira, but he's not able to find the one hiding in Gotham in a closet?
What the hell?
You know what I mean? Like, it didn't make any sense to me.
Are we gonna? I think this is gonna end up being like Batman versus Superman, where I didn't like the theatrical release, but the ultimate release was so much better.
Right, but we shouldn't have to wait for it to
know.
go, oh, that's why it makes sense.
Yeah,
that
that's
kind
why.
Of thing.
It's like it's like I don't know. I mean, you said it in one of your tweets. I mean, DC's great at making images and trailers, but when it comes to movies, they just can't seem to get it down.
Right. And I totally blame Warner Brothers, because I honestly see the vision. I see the vision that Zack Snyder has. You know what I mean?
I think you're thinking it's the execs.
I think it's totally. They're getting their hands in it. They're saying, well, this is what people want. Like, so the biggest criticism of the DC movies prior to Wonder Woman was that they take themselves too seriously. There's not any humor injected into them, and you need that and everything. So their solution to that, which I thought they nailed with Wonder Woman, though after a second viewing I didn't love it as much as I loved it initially.
Right.
They did that. They had the humor in there, but they also weren't afraid to be serious at times.
Right.
Now in Justice League, I felt like, and this is probably getting Joss Whedon involved, is what happened. You have Zack Snyder started off, so it very much reminds you of a Zack Snyder movie, but you've also got those same kind of Whedonisms that you find in Avengers and in the other Marvel movies. Yeah. And it felt foreign to me. Like, it felt foreign. And this is the WB executives going, people want these. This is what makes Marvel good. This is what will make us good. But it turns out what makes Marvel good is a strong story, strong characters that you emotionally are tied to and care about, and a decent villain that, most of Marvel's villains are kind of just like the opposite of the hero. Right. And whatnot. But I think that is by design. That is how Stan Lee and Jack Kirby did it back in the day. Yeah. So that's how it is in the movies right now. Now you're going to start getting introduced to some of these bigger villains. So
I think, and here's a theory, my thinking on why we're liking certain characters more than others, and kind of ties into your theory on Wonder Woman. Yeah. My thinking is that because we've never really gotten any kind of Wonder Woman other than the TV series, right, way back,
which was hokey and campy,
but that was the
70s and 80s.
That was the time, yeah. Because I mean, even the Batman TV show with Adam West and Burt Ward, very campy, right. The main reason why I don't like it, because it was way too campy, right. But the thing is, I think the execs at Warner Brothers, when it came to Wonder Woman, didn't know what to do. They were worried that they were going to be, because, I mean, this was a big deal, because you had a female superhero who's very big in the DC universe. Yeah. And you had a female director who basically showed everyone that it's not just a game for the for the guys. Right. The women can do it too, and that's awesome.
I think if you put the DC cinematic universe in the hands of Patty Jenkins, yes, then I think that they'd be in great shape.
You think she could be the Josh Whedon of the DC?
Yeah, I just honestly I don't see the studio let her do what she wanted to do with Wonder Woman. Yes. And I thought that was great.
And that's my thing, because they didn't. I don't think the execs at Warner Brothers knew what to do. They had zero clues, so they didn't jump in on the stuff. Yeah. With Superman, with Batman, all these other guys, like even with Flash to some point, they've gotten their hands dirty by getting in there and talking about it. I mean, you look at Nolan's Batman, where I think Nolan actually fought back a little bit, so he got what he wanted. That's why the movies were better.
Yeah.
In what we've seen before. Same thing with with Aquaman. He's a new character that they're kind of bringing in, so they weren't quite sure what to do. You had all this history with Batman and Superman, and a little bit more with Flash, but now you've got these characters that you really haven't seen, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and they just didn't know what to do. They were just confused, so they let it roll, and they trusted the directors and whoever was creating these, that was bringing these characters to life to do something with them.
Yeah.
And honestly, it works. It just proves to me, and this is my theory, that if this is all true, that the execs at Warner Brothers need to keep their hands out of the creative process altogether. Just give them the money.
Yep.
Make sure they're on budget. Make your calls where you have to. Like, no, that's way too expensive. You got to figure out something else.
Yeah.
But leave the character development alone.
I agree.
Don't touch them.
I agree.
And you will see the money come in. The DC fanboys are always going to be there, but they're not, that's your base. That's all you're going to get. You're not going to be able to convince the other comic book fans like you and I, who don't really have a particular, well, I do have more of an allegiance to Marvel compared to DC, but not to say I don't love DC characters.
Yeah.
But those other fans out there that are, agnostic of which title, which publisher or whoever, they'll come a running.
Yeah.
They'll enjoy it, and you'll see those you'll see everything come into place. Just keep your hands out of it.
I know.
Seriously.
I know.
I've been on a rant twice in a show. What am I doing?
I don't know. I mean, if I had to, I'd probably give Justice League like a maybe 3 out of 5 stars and whatnot, just because I was entertained by it.
Yeah.
And everything. But storyline was weak. The end credit scene though, with Lex Luthor escaping prison, and he's driving away on a yacht, and you see like this little boat coming up to the yacht, and the guy who gets on is Deathstroke.
Oh God,
and he looked fantastic.
He did.
Joe Manganiello, man, he looked great as Deathstroke. They nailed the look, which I think is fantastic. Setting up what is probably going to be a Justice League 2, facing off against the Injustice League. So you got Lex Luthor, you got Deathstroke. Now it's just a matter of who else are they going to bring into it, because you're going to have an Aquaman movie before this, you're going to have a Wonder Woman 2 before this, so are characters from these movies going to be brought in? Like, are we going to get a Black Manta? Like, that would be so
that would
cool.
be awesome to see Black Manta.
Oh yeah. And maybe we get a cheetah or something like that involved from Wonder Woman. That would be really cool too. So maybe that's, you're setting up your Injustice League that way through these other films, and that's where it comes from, like almost like a revenge type thing.
Yeah.
Opposite Suicide Squad, I guess.
I want it. I would agree with you totally on that. That's what I would love to see. But I mean, like I said, just let them roll. Let them roll, and it'll all happen. I guarantee it.
I think we can talk about Thor Ragnarok too, just because the moment has passed and whatnot. But I loved Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
I thought Thor Ragnarok was great.
It was.
It was the first appearance that we've gotten of Thor and Hulk since Age of Ultron.
Yeah. And I had read somewhere that the style that the director had gone was, I mean, there was a script, there was some stuff there, but he gave the freedom to the actors, to Jeff Goldblum and everybody, to kind of ad-lib here and there, and they did a few multiple takes on everything, and they kind of picked and choose, and it seemed more, I mean, there's a lot of comedy in it, in my opinion. It wasn't campy, but it was funny, it was fun, lots of action, and the storyline was there, and they were serious when they needed to be serious, and it was good. And Hela, oh my God, that was the breakout right there.
Yep.
Was Hela.
Hela was great.
She was hella great.
Yeah, she
Get
was.
it? Yeah.
Valkyrie was good too.
Yep.
I enjoyed her. I like almost like the how that she may be suffering from like a PTSD or something like that.
Yeah.
And she's coping with it by drinking, as a lot of people with that may do.
Yeah.
To kind of numb everything, but at the end of it, she kind of puts herself back together and goes and helps to save the day. Plus, you've got Loki, who the whole time you're like, is he good? Is he bad? And I think that's the perfect line for Loki to walk.
Yep.
And you know, overall, that was just a really fun movie to see. I could have done with a little less of the humor that was in it, and some of the serious parts. You know,
it seemed there was a little bit, you know, it was a little bit too much here and there, but I mean, there was some places where it just fit perfectly, like in the arena scene, you know, when Hulk comes busting out and everybody's like, "Yeah, we're gonna see this little guy get his butt kicked,"
right?
You know, that kind of thing.
I love that Jeff Goldblum's character kept calling him the Lord of Thunder.
Yeah,
the Lord of Thunder.
Oh, Sparkles.
Yeah. That was funny.
That was good. Jeff Goldblum's an awesome actor.
I think it's kind of a cool direction that they're taking Thor in, the fact that, you know, in this movie, obviously Odin dies.
Yes.
And now Asgard was destroyed, and they're taking them to Earth, which is what we saw at the end of Thor Ragnarok and everything. And they've always said that the hammer was just a tool for him. It was not the source of his power.
Right.
Doesn't need the hammer in order to do what he does. And it was nice to see that at the end, where he just, like, you know, he embodies himself and has become the god of thunder, and he's got the lightning and everything. And I thought that was really, really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the direction that they've taken Thor now, and I think he looks so badass in the Infinity War trailer.
Yep.
And the Vanity Fair photos where he's wearing that new armor for Infinity War, where it's like all the black and the black chainmail. So awesome.
So yeah, I'm even more
visually appealing is a winning thing. Yes. That is what I say.
Look the part. They say dress for the part that, you know, for the job that you want. I got sent home when I showed up as Spider-Man. So. Okay, so kind of segging out of that. Going in, I mean, we're coming up on Star Wars.
Yeah.
So Last Jedi, as we were saying, not too far off.
Yeah, about 15 and a half days.
15 and a half days or so. There was, you know, in support of all that, there was the new Battlefront game that came out, EA, and there was a lot of flack over that. And I mean, I followed it because, you know, of course, being a big Star Wars fan like I am, and I've been getting, you know, back into gaming, not console gaming. I'm more of a computer gamer, but just thinking about getting, you know, Battlefront after seeing all of the gameplay and all that kind of stuff, and then with the whole loot boxes and the DLC and all that kind of stuff, and just the big mess that EA created by doing the microtransactions.
Yeah.
Out of all of that, something that really didn't get kind of out there was a new theory on Rey's parentage coming out of this game, which is considered canon according to Lucasfilm.
100% canon. I played it. I beat the campaign. I loved the campaign. And I've moved on, and I've started playing some of the individual missions now in the arcade mode, and I love that too, because I'm running around slicing people up as Darth Maul. How are you not supposed to love that?
Yeah. Now here's the other thing too. Now I had tweeted to you that you know, I had cheated. I had, you know, somebody had put all the all the movie cut scenes on YouTube. I pretty much watched it. It was like basically like watching a 2.5-hour Star Wars movie.
Basically,
it was awesome. It was great. I loved it. Just one question before we go any further. I didn't see Boba Fett anywhere, so Boba Fett
is in the arcade version.
So you can play him.
Yeah,
but
he's not involved in the campaign story.
So that whole thing where Boba Fett is still alive is still
a mystery.
Still a mystery.
You never know,
because
I mean,
he doesn't show up.
I've been reading the Aftermath books. I'm on the third one right now, and in the first one, a guy is going through and he finds some old Mandalorian armor on Tatooine, and he buys it and he wears it now, and is kind of going around. There's this group of people on Tatooine that, now that the Hutts have been displaced, they're trying to take over as the law of the land and make everybody free and everything. And he does it while wearing this Mandalorian armor, which they haven't said is Boba Fett's, but they keep saying that it looks similar to a bounty hunter and blah, 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 like that. So maybe that's like kind of like the Legend of Boba Fett or
Right.
something. At least these books, that's how they're portraying
doing
it.
Okay.
The campaign mode in Battlefront, though, I love it. You start out as this Imperial squadron called Inferno Squad.
Yep.
And, you know, you're on the Battle of Endor. They think, like, oh, man, these rebels, they don't know what's coming. And then
We'll
the Death
show
Star
them.
blows up.
Yep.
And they're like, what the hell just happened? Now we need to get off this planet.
Right.
So that becomes the mission, is they are, you know, fighting rebels, trying to get off the planet. They're being captured, having to fight rebels, and at the end, you know, they end up switching sides eventually because of the Empire starts to destroy planets loyal to the Empire,
Yep.
just to show them that they still have all this power,
Yeah.
and everything. So you get, like, the main character is Iden Versio. I think that's how. I think that's her name.
Versio. I think.
Versio. So you get, you know, she turns coat, and then her one of her officers, Del, he also turns coat to go to the rebels. But their other person that they are always with, Hask, he has other orders.
Yes.
That, you know, he has to. It's treason that they wanted to save these people that the Empire was trying to kill, even though they were just citizens loyal to the Empire.
Yeah.
So, you know, he stays with the Empire. They go their separate ways. They give all this intel to Lando, and his guy, who's, I forget his name now, but he is very funny in the game, and I really enjoy playing alongside him. And they give all this information to the rebels, and they help to fight it, and it all culminates on Jakku, which in the Aftermath books, everything leads to Jakku.
Yep.
Everything started in The Force Awakens on Jakku.
Yep.
And you even have Finn. Why does everybody want to go back to Jakku? And everything. So that planet is playing a huge part in the Star Wars lore.
Yep.
You know, so, and they keep saying too that the Empire doesn't want to fully withdraw its interest away from Tatooine and stuff like that too, because they believe that some of the legacy blood of the Force resides on Tatooine and everything. Like, the planet is born of that. So you look at, like, some of these planets that are highly involved in the Star Wars universe that are kind of desolate outskirt planets that the Empire has an invested interest in, and the rebels would like to protect. You got Tatooine.
Yeah.
You've got, and from the rebels world, you've got Lothal.
Yeah.
And now you've got Jakku and everything.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it is about these planets and why they all have this weird thing in common and whatnot, but I mean, after playing Battlefront and everything, I totally am thinking that the main characters in Battlefront are Rey's parents for some reason. Now, neither of them is Force sensitive, but there is a moment in the game where Luke Skywalker is in it, and you play as him, and you have to help out Del when he's still working for the Empire.
Right.
You have to help him, and you do help him because he asks for your help.
Yeah.
And that is almost like his turning point in the game, where maybe he figures out he's fighting from the wrong side.
Right.
Because as a small boy, he says he's always been taught when he grew up on Coruscant that the Jedi were evil because of, you know, Palpatine's influence, right?
Yeah.
And Luke says to him, he goes, "You've been afraid of the wrong side." And then that's it. And then he goes off, but he gets a compass. And that, I believe that compass is what leads him to the first Jedi Temple, which we see in, of course, we see in the Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Or at least the end of Force Awakens. We'll see it probably now in The Last Jedi.
Right.
But I guess starting on December 5th, there's a whole bunch of DLCs. That's when the first packages will start to come out. And then I believe once the movie hits, there'll be more packages of this downloadable content and episodes that you can play. And I believe it's for free. You can download this extra content for the game, which is going to allow you to continue playing the game, because it ends on a cliffhanger. It ends going back to the planet where Luke Skywalker found the compass in the first place when he was with Del.
Right.
And it leaves it as a cliffhanger where you're left thinking, who is Del and Iden's daughter? Iden is nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
What is going on with her? So I would not be shocked if at some point she didn't show up in the films.
Right.
It would be interesting. I mean, these are real actors portraying these characters in the video game.
Yeah.
Paul Blackthorne plays Hask. You know him as Quentin Lance on Arrow.
Yeah.
I would not be shocked to see them show up in the films in some way, shape, or fashion.
That is kind of a cool insight. I like the sound of that, because I mean, you've actually gone through all, and I saw those in the videos and all that, and when you mentioned that theory, I mean, because I had thought it too for a quick second. Wait a minute, a daughter, and here we see Kylo Ren, because Kylo Ren comes out at the end of Battlefront,
right?
Basically, because he captures Dell, and
they're still looking for Luke Skywalker. Like the First Order at the end of that game is looking for Luke Skywalker. So this game starts out before the events of The Force Awakens.
Right. But we also see, it also jumps decades later.
Yeah.
To up to the time of The Force Awakens, just before The Force Awakens.
Right, just before it happens.
And then kind of goes from there. So, but it does start to fill in that little bit, that gap there from the end of the Battle of Endor going forward. So we're getting that, and we'll probably see more of that, and of course the downloadable content and all that, which has caused a lot of, because it's you don't get everything, and you have to basically either pay but they're also saying you can just play the game to do it.
Yeah.
But
it's like 30 to 40 hours of gameplay for you to unlock all the things you want to unlock.
Yeah. So basically, it's going to become a full-time job.
Yeah.
To unlock anything.
And nobody wants that.
Yeah. And you were saying before, you had read somewhere that how much was it going to cost all total?
My buddy Stefan, who's been on this show, said something along the lines of it would be somewhere around like $2,000 of your own money spent if you were gambling on buying all these loot crates and stuff like that. Yeah. So you really, it's a lot of money just to level up and do that. You can do it by playing the game, but that takes a lot. Like for me, I don't play online, so it doesn't affect me. But if you were playing online, I see where you're a little frustrated. But overall, for me, I mean, I really enjoyed the game. The first Battlefront was not good. The one that they re-released. Now the original one that I used to play on PlayStation 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. But this new one is a lot of fun. I like it a lot. So.
Right. Well, actually, I've seen that the first Battlefront is actually on sale on a few websites, discounted, of course. I think Good Old Games had it, and they've got a ton of the older games that are really awesome. Yeah. So you could always go there to grab it. We should get them as a sponsor.
Ooh.
There you go. But yeah, I was kind of when I heard about all this stuff, because I was following it all on Reddit, and it's its own little echo chamber. I get that, but it's just I don't know. I just couldn't bring myself. And plus, I mean, $60 for the game, and then spending even more money
afterwards
to get that kind of stuff.
Yep. I
mean, that's not like playing some of the games on like iOS where you have the in-app purchases.
Right.
That's that's way bigger. I mean, it's
it's how they're getting the gaming community to pay for things because it's so long in between, like upgrading your systems and stuff like that. Plus, you don't really have to update your system now. You can play on PlayStation 4. I'll probably be able to play on that for years. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's just how they're making money. They want to make money. They're gonna make money. It's how it is. Gamers will pay for it.
I just think it's kind of unethical for them.
It's a little
the
unethical.
way they're doing it.
I agree.
But I think we obviously agree on that. So
yeah.
But that's our feelings on that on the Battlefront thing. So I mean, we'd love to hear what everybody else's opinion is. You can always you can tweet at us.
Yeah.
Geek Show Radio on Twitter, and we've also got a Facebook page. You can search for us, Geek Show Radio. And there you go. So you can. It's not like you can't find us.
Nope.
I mean, we're on iHeartRadio, right?
Yeah.
We're on iTunes. We're Podcastpedia. We're pretty much all over the place.
Yeah, you can get us.
Yeah. So
you can get us.
Exactly. So I think that's pretty much everything that we've got. I mean, we're coming up on the 1 hour mark for us.
Yeah.
So, wow, we haven't done an hour show in a while.
I know, we had a lot to talk about. We're getting to the point where there's things to talk about. S.H.I.E.L.D. comes back Friday.
Oh yeah,
Don't forget.
They're in outer space.
Yeah.
How the hell did that happen? I really gotta catch up because I haven't followed it at all. All right, we'll see you next episode. Stay geeky.